want. Trigger Astral Purge for the abilities that request it. Alright. Okay. Moving on to the next fight. So the next fight, I mean, Sisters is okay. Challenging in terms of mechanics because it seems that it's overwhelming. The next fight is really, really fun. Mistress Sassz'ine. So with Mistress here, let me pull up our notes. Mistress is really fun. It is a 3-phase encounter. It's a bit of a single target plus cleave. You'll be on her for the majority of the time. We'll go through different abilities here really quick for you guys. So this is Mistress. This is like Throne of Tides, that underwater dungeon. One of the first abilities that happens throughout the entire encounter is Hydra Shot. You can see here, these are the green arrows. It targets people with arrows, right? We're going to have different sections assigned to us. It's split damage. So if one person soaks it, they're more than likely going to die. But your players should soak it or split that damage. And the downside is that it's going to apply a debuff or a dot. So you don't want to be constantly soaking in multiples of these. So you can see the Hydra Shot going out in a sec. There, minimal damage. I mean, some damage. One on the Druid here, who nearly died. And it does, throw up a big dot. The other abilities are the, the little Murlocs that spawn and jellyfish. These jellyfish, you can see them sort of come up. They're going to be used later in the encounter. Essentially, they will stun you if you're standing in them. But if you have a Murloc on your back, so you'll see, Murlocs attacking you, that kind of stuff. They jump on your back. In order to get rid of the Murlocs, you have to stand in the jellyfish. So that pops you up and pops them off your back, and then they can be then killed. There, and there's the Abyssal Eels as well. The Abyssal Stalkers, so again, lots of cleave on this one. The Abyssal Stalkers, you want to bring them in, interrupt their water burst. And these eels, they spawn throughout the entire encounter. They will drop green puddles. And this is important for the first phase, especially in the last phase. These green puddles from the eels, the green crap they drop, they will stop tornadoes. So you can see here, the tornadoes got stopped just barely by that green puddle, and your players have to hide behind that puddle. So that's one of the fun parts. Like it's a very interactive boss. You're using the environment pretty well here. Here they're going to get destroyed by the Hydra Shot. Yeah, they got murdered there, and then there's the jellyfish again that are popping up the Murlocs. I think this was just on normal when they tested it. Oh, that's heroic. I don't see the Murlocs jumping on their backs. Again, more eels, so it's going to be lots and lots and lots of cleave for those of you that are cleave spec, and you really should be cleave spec, none of this single target stuff. You'll want to burn these down as much as you can. Good sustained AoE, good burst AoE, and again, dropping these puddles by the middle, so tank the boss by the middle there. The other abilities here, so we're going to go through phase 2. Let me close these down. Alright, so what's it called? We're going to go through phase 2. So phase 2 is really the best part of the encounter. Phase 2 starts here. There's basically be ink puddles on the ground. The ink puddles you'll need to pick up. And the reason for that is Sarukal, he's this big whale shark. He's going to start sucking you in. Hopefully they can get a good view here. Yeah, so there's basically a big whale shark sucking you in, pulling the entire raid in. And he's doing damage there. You can sort of see his mouth on the right side there for a second. Try to... There. Oops. You can see him sucking you in on the right side. Now here's what's really important. The blue circle on the right side there, if you get hit by the blue circle, you will die. The purple circle is where you drop your ink puddles, right? You give him enough ink, he shuts up, he stops sucking you in. So these purple puddles, you see one on the ground there, it needs to be picked up by a player. That player then runs it in to the purple semicircle, and once 3 of those go in, then he stops sucking the entire raid and doing raid-wide damage. So it'll be important to drop those off pretty quickly. You can see purple puddles, ink puddles spawning. These guys need to drop it off. There, and eventually it stops. So once you drop enough ink puddles in that little section, it slows him down. It stops him from sucking the raid. Meanwhile, you're still dealing with these oozes, and the ooze does take. It does do damage to your players, and eventually it will just drop off, right? So it will eventually drop off entirely. And like Zorania says, you know, one circle was faint, and one circle was like a faint blue and a faint purple. Let's go back here for a sec. There. You can see even a better one there. So again, don't run it right into the mouth of the whale shark. Run into the purple circle, then run out. Right, this is where your speed boost will help, your stampeding roars, to get these picked up super quick, dropped off. Really doesn't matter who you assign these to. You may want to have some of your more mobile players. For instance, hunters, pick these up, BM hunters, pick them up, drop them off, while everybody else is still dealing with the eels and the murlocs or whatever else. But yeah, this is going to be a great ret fight for the sustained cleave throughout the entire thing. So that is one, really the best ability, I think, of the entire encounter. The next one here is Velius. If you guys remember doing Stargar, if you've seen Stargar Mythic, one sec, if you've seen Stargar Mythic, this is very similar. It's a big, I mean, it's going to kill you if you get hit by it. You'll see a big blue line go across the room. There, this big casting crashing wave. Everything in this blue big bold line is going to die. So you need to shift out, just like on Stargar. You've got 5 seconds almost, and he does his big jump through the middle, then you go right back to it. The big thing on this one is if you're in a very central position, so right here, you will always have to move quite a bit. Always anticipate where you're going to have to be running to. At the same time, there's still ink puddles on the ground. It shouldn't line up where it's sucking in, as well as the big fish flopping around. Okay, there we go. Yeah, right after he starts sucking, you can see the purple circles again. Need to be dropped off. You can see the little cat there dropping one off, or the boomkin. Just back and forth, back and forth. There, you can see a debuff on him. He picked up the puddle. Gonna drop it off. There we go. And you're dealing with these puddles throughout the entire encounter. You're dealing with more eels. The eels keep spawning throughout the entire thing. So it is, again, a sustained cleave encounter for the most part. And then, again, there's the big blue line. You stand in it, you die, you take tons and tons of damage. I mean, it will one-shot you, so watch where you're standing. But it is a pretty fun encounter. I like it. Cool mechanics. There's some really cool things where the whale shark guy, he only spawns from where the glass section is. So if you can see right now, there's sort of the pillar, the curved pillar by the ink puddle. He will never spawn there. He only spawns in the glass sections. There's only about 4 or 5 potential places he can spawn from. Never by the entrance either. So you may want to have the boss by the entrance during that section. So. For the Murloc boss. No Murloc boss. Yeah, the ad was removed. And yeah, anyway, that's it for Phase 2 in a nutshell. Alright, and then Phase 3, I mean, much of the same, except you're going to be dealing with, the same abilities as Phase 1. You're dealing with tornadoes, as well as dealing with the ink clouds. Where is it here? Pull up my notes. Yeah, same tornadoes as Phase 1. Eventually there is a hardened rage mechanic. Let's see here. There, we'll go back to this one. So it's basically a combination of Phase 1 and Phase 2. What is going to be sucking you in later? I wonder how far they got here. Yeah, not very far. Just through multiple attempts. Alright, and again, there's the jellyfish. Eventually, the Murlocs, there you can see the Murlocs actually there, casting their water blast. That's how they get knocked up. Let's go back a couple seconds here. So there's Murlocs on some players. They're going to stand in the jellyfish. The jellyfish knock the Murlocs off their back. You can see them spawning, the little wave dudes there. And that's how you're going to AoE them down. So again, lots and lots of AoE. Where are you, Mistress Sassz'ine? Heroic... Thundering Shock, Consuming Hunger. Yeah, here we go, the Wave Runners. And these guys are going to be casting the Watering Blast, which should be interrupted. Again, cleave down, stun them. I'm pretty sure they're stunnable. But yeah, blow them up. Blow them up as much as you can. There we go.